Hello everybody and welcome back to the League of Europe channel. We are back again with the Formula 2 Championship. Apologies for the lack of stream last week. That is entirely on me. I had something come up very last minute and I asked around and no one was available at that time, which is fair enough. So that is completely on me. But they were at Monza last week for the 8th round of this 12-round championship. And if anyone remembers from Portimao, it looked like the championship might be getting closer. Campbell had the perfect weekend, near enough, except from pole positions for fastest laps, and closed the gap. But at Monza, the gap widened by 25 points. Nathan, a win, and then I think only about 11th place. But Campbell was, I think Campbell was 14th and 13th in both of those races. So, massive points lost, and it means now Verstappen's closer to Campbell than Campbell is to Nathan. The gap is 69 points, with 4 rounds to go. And we have a full lobby for this race, round 9 in Brazil. You know how it works by now. Feature race, sprint race. Qualifying decides the grid for the feature race. The top 8 of the feature race get reversed, and that sets the grid for the sprint race. Do not have to pit in the sprint race. Do in the feature race after lap 3. That's pretty much all there is to it. Unless it rains, then we could see a lot of carnage. As I was saying before, Nathan leads the championship on 301 points now, with 4 races to go. Campbell is second, 242, and Verstappen is third on 218. Then it's Rocco and Larkin making up the top 5. B. Morgan in 6th, Darry in 7th. Toxic, the reigning champion, is he's missed a lot of races this season. I think he's not started 8 races and 6 of them consecutively, and he's not going to start the 2 today, which makes 10 races out of 18 that he has not started. So yeah, the season's kind of championships out the window, retaining that, and this season's kind of down the drain for him. But he won't be here today anyway, as we are loading in. Let me put the game audio on. That would help. There we go. As I was saying, so Toxic's 8th on 101. So that's for perspective. There we go. And Cali 9th in the top 10, doing a good job. And Pharrell Fury in 10th. Actually has 2 podiums, 2 third places this season, and the last one was in the last race at Monza. So good job from Pharrell. And I can't remember much about Brazil. Brazil last season, I will get up. That's the one thing I haven't prepared. I will get up the Brazil Division 1 from last season as they start the qualifying lap, and we're on board with Isaac. We all know the person we want to be on board with in qualifying, which I can't find him. There he is. Here's Nathan in 8th place currently. Pharrell Fury had a very good opening section. Brazil was the first race of last season. A feature race won by Toxic and the sprint won by Verstappen. For context, Nathan was, I think, 4th in the feature race, 4th or 5th, and then retired from the sprint. So that's where we are with that. And Nathan's fortunes have really turned around from last season. He finished 10th in the championship last season on 178 points. He already has a 301 with 4 rounds to go. So as I haven't really commentated much on this lap. As I said, Pharrell Fury started the lap well. He's started to finish. He's finished the lap well. He's in 3rd place as they drive up to line. It's going to look like another Nathan pole position as they come up to the line, and Nathan takes pole from Rocco Verstappen. Pharrell Fury actually got jumped. He dropped down to 5th in the end, but that's still a hell of a lap from him. I think Campbell got ahead of him, and was it? Yeah, Verstappen was 3rd and Campbell was 4th. Can't remember if I saw that correctly, but that's what I thought I saw. And yes, it was. So Nathan takes another pole position. That is another 2 points for his championship lead, already up to 71. Rocco in 2nd, another good qualifying from the other Brit on the front row. Verstappen 3rd, Campbell the 2nd place man in the championship, 4th place, but just no one can get near Nathan really. Sorry. Pharrell Fury in 5th, good qualifying from him, just ahead of Miami, but those 3 are pretty close. B Morgan in 7th, James in 8th again, good qualifying from him. Ryan B 9th, Tin Can, several reserves in for this race, and Tin Can rounds up the top 10, and they were all within a second of each other, so that's pretty good going, even though it is a short track here, Interlagos. I don't quite know what to expect. If this is wet, okay, it's not wet, so that goes out the window straight away. Obviously, no setups for this. They all have the same standard setup, which I think might be 8 wings. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think so. That it's quite not high, but kind of just above mid, like average downforce. Which I don't know if that's really a benefit around here. Quite a lot of straights. There are corners, but there are some high-speed corners. But yeah, the straights are probably more important around this track. And so the downforce might not. Well, it's the same for everyone. It doesn't really matter either way. I didn't go through the back of the grid, so I will. So from Tin Can down, you have Callie in 11th, Lars 12th, Jordan 13th, Alex in 14th, Ibo 15th, and then I think you have the bottom 5 maybe all invalidated on their laps. So that would be Nolan, Larkin, Tim, Eisen, and Car Mentalist. Car Mentalist, I think, made his, I don't know if his F2 debut completely. Like, I don't know if he'd competed in other seasons, but I think it was his first race of this. Yeah, so it was definitely his first races of this season in Monza. He didn't start the first race. I think he might have joined late, I'm assuming then. But then 10 points in the second race, which I think is like 7th place, 8th place, something like that. Pretty good going on debut. He's starting at the back for this one, as we are watching the man who's starting at the front, which, to no surprise, once again, is that high-tech of Ariel Nathan, and Tin Can have Nolan have been disqualified. Considering they were nowhere near each other on the grid, I don't know how they've done that. And that was very close to Rocco going into the side of Nathan as well. So, interesting end to this formation, that, with those two, as they start to line up on the grid for for the feature race here in Brazil. It's 20 laps, 1 tyre change. I think they're on. Campbell went different. So Campbell and Larkin are the 2 that have gone on a different strategy. But here we have the 5 red lights in Brazil. And away we go. Good start off the line from both the front 2. Rocco cuts across to try and cover off Verstappen, but Nathan gets a clean run into turn 1 as Miami has had a great start up to 4th, battling with Pharrell Fury, and he's got past him. Campbell dropped down quite a few 2 places off the start as Nathan now in the slipstream. There's a car off in the back. That's Ibo in the background, as Tin Can has lost out quite a few places as well. There are yellow flags to Tim out of the session on the straight, and that is a virtual safety car, and Campbell has just lost out another position to B. Morgan, I think. Yep, Campbell's lost another position as Nolan picks up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Jordan. There's a lot going on at the start. But yeah, Campbell lost out a bit. Tinkan lost out two places, I think. Where's position change? There we go. Yeah, and Alex, decent start from him. But the big gainer off the start, Miami did a very good job into turn 1, managing to get... Well, Campbell's start was probably knew it was going to be slower than most of the guys around him. Him being the only medium runner inside the top 10. To be fair, well, he got passed by B. Morgan down at turn 4. But that was probably because he was out of place when Miami passed him off the start, and he got a run on Pharrell Fury. I think they're getting ready to go green. No green flag as of yet. They are definitely pushing a little bit though. He's back. Nathan has backed off again now. So they're just trying to manage it until the green flag comes out, and you get the feeling it's going green now, and it is. So Nathan leads them away after the VSC, and we're going to have to watch the background here as Pharrell Fury pulls out to one side against Miami. He had the pace in qualifying. Has he got the pace to make this move stick? And we can't really see from that angle, but Miami's going to have to go out wide. Pharrell Fury doing a very good job at getting down the inside of turn 4, and that is position made. Pharrell Fury in the Carlin up into P4. It's a fantastic move as B. Morgan's made a little bit of a mistake there. Campbell's going to get up his inside, and he does so. Nearly cuts off his wing in the process, but very good opportunistic move from Campbell, waiting for that mistake to happen and making full use of it as Verstappen. The gaps are a bit off at the moment, I think, because he is not a second behind Rocco. But for these guys, they've got to stay with Nathan. It seems like the goal of every race, they have to stay with him. If he gets out of a second, he is gone. And without mistake, the race is his, as Nathan obviously sets the fastest lap of the race. As Miami has a little look, Campbell's going to be watching this battle intently. Obviously, he's lost time to the leaders, but he's on a different strategy. So if he can kind of stick with these guys in front of him, as Miami's going to have DRS now down the back straight into turn 4. He's going to do the same move that Pharrell Fury tried on him, and he's not going to give him any room. He's going to force him off the track, and that is exactly the same move Pharrell Fury did a lap ago, as Campbell's having a look down the inside of Pharrell Fury. He's not going to get the space in there, surely. No, and he doesn't. He had a look, but he couldn't quite do anything about it. And they hold position, but Miami up back into 4th position. I feel like this one is gonna be here for quite a while, as Rocco, more looking behind him, I think he's already lost the DRS, so this is crucial. He needs to get it, but I don't. Yeah, he's outside of the 1 second window, so that is already Rocco has lost touch with Nathan, and it's going to be a lot of work for Nathan, for Rocco and co to try and catch that up, as Verstappen did have a look down into turn 1. Pharrell Fury wasn't quite close enough to Miami to have a look himself, as Campbell's now all over the back of him and has a little snap of oversteer coming out of turn 2. Always a bit of a danger, that one. He was right up behind Pharrell Fury. Had a decent chance of getting past, maybe down the straight, but he has to sit behind after that little wobble. But Campbell doing what he can right now, as B. Morgan's looking close behind him. You can't really overtake in this section of the track. I'm going to go back to this battle because they are so close to each other, as Aiton's basically pushing Alex through this section of corners. Is he going to have a look? No, he's not. Jordan right at the back of this, so I don't know what happened to Jordan off the start. Carmentalist up 7 positions at the front of this group in the HWA. Doing quite a decent job. He's got Lars behind him. Lars does look a little bit quicker as of right now. Is Verstappen right on the back of Rocco again. He's got the DRS. He's got the slipstream, and it just looks like he's going to breeze past into turn 1. Rocco going to fight it? No, he's not. So he's going to... Rocco, I think, going to set up the run into turn 4. These guys are battling hard. They're losing a hell of a lot of time. And Nathan just looks gone at the moment as Rocco pulls to one side already. Is he? No, he's not. He's not close enough to make a move. As Pharrell Fury has a look, but again, not close enough to make anything happen. As Lars has got past Carmentalist. Carmentalist is going to come back at him into turn 4 with the DRS. And Lars, has he gone for a switchback? He has. This is going to be a very interesting run up the hill. Side by side, and Lars has to sit behind. I don't know if he had to lift off slightly there, but that is position lost and then regained for Carmentalist. Very neat bit of driving from the pair of them. Very respectful. And as I said, that one is gonna take a while to settle itself. As we're coming back onto the main straight again. Is Rocco close enough to Verstappen? Not really. Pharrell Fury's not really close enough to Miami. Just up the road from him. And Campbell just sat in behind all of them as Nathan does the fastest lap of the race again. 2.4 seconds now his lead. As Campbell, yeah, nowhere near him for this section. And Campbell, oh, he got too much on the curb. He's gone for a spin. And that's B. Morgan that's gone off just behind him. Campbell, that's all his hard work just staying with those guys undone. Bit too greedy on that outside curb of turn 2, inside of turn 3. And he goes for a spin. B. Morgan lost 2 places because of that. I think he was right behind Campbell. And he lost out to James and Callie. Speaking of, Callie has had a fantastic start, as has James. Just no mistakes from the pair of them, and they both find themselves in decent points paying positions right now. As Tinkan, I said he had a bad start as well. He is right up there again. Just finding his pace, finding his rhythm. He's good in these cars when he can get it all together. But it's not very often that happens. There's always something happening with Tinkan. Obviously, it was qualifying. It's normally qualifying. But qualifying for this race. Again, as we have people into the pits. And Nathan was the first one in. Rocco follows him, and I don't think anyone else has come into the pits. It's B. Morgan up behind, being attacked by Tinkan, and Tinkan's gone up the inside, taking a lot of curb there, and it's not paid off whatsoever, but he's going to have a look into turn 4, you would think, with the DRS. B. Morgan does have a bit of a toe, but he's not using it. He's going to force Tinkan to the outside. Tinkan's going to be aggressive on the turn in as Ibo picks up a 3-second time penalty. They're still side by side. Tinkan has the inside. B. Morgan is slightly ahead. They're going to go side by side all the way up the hill. Who's going to come out on top in this one? They're still side by side in the middle sector. B. Morgan just ahead. I feel like Tinkan might get squeezed out here. No, they're still side by side. Tinkan going to go on the brakes. Is he going to get it this time around? No, B. Morgan sticks with him. This is amazing battling from the pair of them as they go down the hill now. And I think that is B. Morgan staying ahead right now. But with the DRS zone coming up, you just feel like he might have been better trying to let him through just before that DRS zone, because he's going to lose the position definitely now. As actually, no, he's not. That is very good timing from B. Morgan, actually. I take everything back I've just said. If he was staying out, bit of a mistake, but he's come into the pits. He's been able to hold that position by doing that, as Tinkan does not have the chance to overtake him unless he tried to undercut him. Campbell stays out, obviously, on his set of mediums, trying to do the hard work. Larkin, on his set of mediums, is about to take the lead of the race, as Ryan B has stayed out an extra lap on that set of soft tyres. We're already on lap 8. If it's going fast for you, don't worry, it's going fast for B. These guys are going around at an absolutely frantic pace as Carmentalist picks up his first penalty. I assume it's his first penalty anyway. Let me have a look. Yes, and Lars has a 5-second penalty. Lars wasn't the penalty for hitting someone, was it? I think that was Nolan, because Nolan's been into the pits. I'm assuming served that penalty. He is quite a way behind the rest of the pack. I think he had damage on the first stint, and that would have cost him chunks of time. As this is, well, Miami and Pharrell Fury has actually managed to get back ahead of Miami. I don't know if he'd managed to do that before the pit stops, but he's done it now at least. We might have I don't know how many parts of this we've had, 4, 5 of Miami versus Pharrell Fury. It's been an absolute cracker so far. Car Mentalist picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane as he finally makes his first stop, well, his only stop. I say first stop like they're going to do another one. They're not, unless they crash, which please don't. But Miami not quite close enough that time around, as the only people that have not pit now are the two in the lead who are on the medium strategy, as Miami does go up the inside this time around. Kind of forced Pharrell Fury a bit more aggressive that time around, and Miami makes the move stick this time around. Can he clear Pharrell Fury? Is Pharrell Fury just going to linger with him? He clearly has the pace. He showed that in qualifying, out-qualifying Miami. But whether it translates all the way to the end of the race, we'll find out. But if anyone can show me that, it is the man in the Carlin. I was about to say his driver number, but I realised that on my screen the driver numbers are exactly the same for both drivers. And I still haven't worked out if that's just a Codemasters thing or just a spectator thing. If that's the whole, everyone gets the same thing. Someone tell me please, because I'm getting confused with it now. But Nathan sets the fast slap yet again as James makes a move on Callie. Callie's still there, but James up into P8. I think it's provisional P6 with the two yet to pit. Very good work from James as Callie's going to come back at him. Down the straight towards turn 4, and he pulls out to the one side, and he is going to go up the inside. Nothing James can do about that, so they swap yet again as Tinkan and B Morgan are going side by side. Tinkan on the inside, B Morgan on the outside. B Morgan goes a bit wide, but I think there was maybe a bit of contact, or we got very close, and it's more of avoiding action than it is trying to gain an advantage, as Ryan B now on the back of this group as well, battling for P10. As that's very wayward from B Morgan. Campbell still on the back of Larkin. I don't know if he's closing up to him, but Campbell's pace early in the race suggested he could be on for a podium. Obviously with that spin, he's got a lot of work to do to get back into that position. As Pharrell Fury on the back of Miami again. He's going to have DRS. He's a bit far back for a move into turn 1. Or is he? He's going to have a look. Is he going to go for it? No, he backs out of that one. The Irishman thinking better of that move, but he can have a look now as he gets a decent run through turn 3, no, turn 2, but Miami also gets a decent run through there as they're heading down the back straight towards turn 4, and there's no way through there. Not close enough as Campbell picks up his first time penalty of the race. Still yet to pit, and I think that could be any time soon, this lap or the next. I didn't see what the tyre wear is like. Brazil tyre wear is normally quite bad, as Miami picks up his first penalty. He is all over the curbs right there. And in his battle with Pharrell Fury, who's just gone a little bit deep into the hairpin at the top of the hill. I don't know the corner names, and I'm bad at Portuguese pronunciation, so I'm not going to say it before anyone tries to make me. As Jordan picks up his first penalty. A lot of penalties going out. You would have thought we were at Russia, as he's Pharrell Fury a lot further back this time around. He was about 4 tenths back, 5 tenths back last lap. He's 7 tenths coming into the DRS zone this time around, so not close enough for a move. And James are in the same situation there. Tin Can has managed to clear B Morgan. Looking behind him, B Morgan now under threat from Ryan as there is a spinner. That is Miami in turn 3. I don't know if there's any damage. He's just hit the wall and just got damage. So maybe there was damage and he was trying to get more. I don't know because then it automatically changes. But he has definitely got damage this time around. As Ryan B and Lars managed to get past B Morgan whilst that spin happened. It all happens at the same. It all kicks off at the exact same time, and you miss stuff. But there we have it. Pharrell Fury now into a clear 6th place. Miami drove quite a good race up until that point. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was contact, but Pharrell Fury was quite far behind, so I don't know if there would have been contact, especially in turn 2. Or if it's just a case of he did what Campbell did and got on the curb, as Nathan sets the fastest lap of the race for the 1000th time in this race. It just seems one-way traffic with him, as Rocco is now 7 seconds behind Nathan. And this is a battle we haven't checked in on in a very long time. Actually, I'll come back to it, as Callie and James are battling again. And Lars has just got past Ryan B. James is behind Callie, a bit too far back. But as I was saying, a battle we haven't checked in on in a while. Net P2, Rocco versus Verstappen. Verstappen's still right on the back of Rocco. Nothing he can do so far. As B Morgan has managed to get past both Ryan B and Lars yet again. So this battle is insane. This is why we aren't seeing the battle for Net P2, because these battles are just as good, as that is very late on the brakes, but Lars manages to get it stopped. Lars had a decent season, but his teammate, you could say, showing him how it's done a little bit. It's been close for the start of the season, but Pharrell Fury's got into form towards the end. And Lars probably knows the pace is there, but he yet to unlock it slightly compared to his teammate, as Larkin has made his move into the pits on the end of lap 13, the beginning of lap 14. He's going to come out, but is he going to come out behind his teammate here? He is. James is going to come out. No, they're going to be side by side. Is James going to let him go? No, he's not. So now James has his teammate behind, his teammate on the soft compound of tyres. Obviously, James doesn't want to lose out to Callie, but he is going to let him go. So that is teamwork. They're making the dream work. And James lets his teammate go. Larkin drove a fantastic race so far. Put himself in a good position for good points. I don't know how far he is off the podium. He's about 10 seconds off the podium, so that's a lot of work to do in 6 laps, but he can do it, as he's going to try and make a move on Callie, as James has fallen a little bit back from these guys now. Needs to stay with them if he's to do anything against Callie. They've been battling for a while. Down the field, nothing really happened, and Campbell now makes his move into the pit, so this is a key one. Where's Campbell going to come out? You would have fought behind these guys, but Larkin has been stuck in traffic for the first lap. I think he's still going to come out ahead of Campbell. Is Campbell in the pit lane now, being very aggressive on the pit exit. He was about 1.5 seconds behind Larkin. He is going to come out behind Larkin. He's going to come out right at the back of this group, but still ahead of Tin Can. So he has a lot of, well, he has decent track position actually there, Campbell, to go and push further on, as Larkin has cleared Callie, and now James is on the back of Callie once again. So that battle resumes for P6 now. And kind of as you were before, Campbell in a similar position as he was before. There's a car going slowly in the middle sector, I think. Once again, that was Ibo. Yes, it was. And as we cut to Ibo, he's doing some Tokyo drifting. He's doing some Kimi Raikkonen 2012? 2013. One of the years he was at Lotus, where he decided he didn't want to rejoin the track. Ivo is doing his best impersonation as James is on the back of Callie. He's actually side by side with Callie. Callie's been good on the I cannot speak English right now. Let me retry that. Callie's been good on the brakes so far, as Callie's moved straight out of the way of Campbell. I don't know if he made a little mistake there, but there was no defense there. As Campbell now on the back of James, is he going to send one to the inside of Years? And Campbell disposes both of them in the space of literally a straight. Very nice work from Campbell, as easy as you'd like, and he's now into 6th place. Got some work to do to close back up to Larkin. Larkin's really his battle to the end of the race, but they're not far off Pharrell Fury either, as James picks up his first penalty of the race. So the advantage he had against other guys is gone. Campbell, obviously, with his 3-second penalty, that makes his life a lot more difficult as well. But this is the battle I want to watch. It's the battle for second is still going. Nathan has a penalty, but that's not really going to come into play unless he makes a mistake. But Larkin, Campbell, Pharrell Fury is going to be an interesting one. And then if Campbell can close it before Larkin gets past. And then the battle for P7 between Callie, James and Tinkan, as Callie's going to retake that position as he goes straight round. Nothing James can do there with the straight line speed. Tinkan on the back of this, not too close, but close enough to make you think about looking in your mirrors. As Callie is going to have this move stuck in turn 4, you would think. James a bit too far back to have a look. And there you go. There's the MP Motorsport car of XL Tinkan in the background. I have no bias towards him whatsoever. If you could tell. None. But he is on the back of this group now. Looking, actually, like he could be. He's trying to get himself into reverse grid situation. At the moment, as it stands, Callie would have reverse grid pole with Tinkan second because of the penalties. James, unfortunately, would drop down to 9th, one position outside of it, as now, let me change to the right driver. Verstappen is on the back of Rocco. They're going side by side. Sorry, I tried to switch to that earlier. It didn't quite let me. And Rocco has been finally overtaken by Verstappen. But is he going to have a chance as Larkin gets past Pharrell Fury? Campbell's not really made any ground on them, as Rocco's going to come back at this. Is Verstappen going to go defensive? He is, but not too much. Rocco has a look down the inside, but doesn't go for the move. So that's Rocco sitting behind, being a bit more patient. Nolan picks up a penalty. Fair play to him. He's managed to get up to 17th place after being about 20 seconds behind at some point, as Car Mentalist has retired from the Grand Prix on the exit of turn 3. And he was having an alright race after starting from the back of the grid. I think he was up in about 12th. And now he is out. And we won't have a safety car. It's a bit too late in the race for a safety car, as now Campbell has caught up to the back of Pharrell Fury. And Pharrell Fury is actually managing to stay slightly with Larkin. Whether he keeps DRS, who knows? But this move shouldn't be that difficult if Campbell can line it up, either in turn 1 or turn 3. That very good exit from the Scotsman out of the final proper corner, as he's going to have DRS now. Or does he? Yes, he does. But he's the slipstream is keeping Pharrell Fury in there. Campbell sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix of the race. Is it a Grand Prix? I don't even know if it's a Grand Prix because it's a feature race. But Pharrell Fury looks like he's about to lose his P5 that he's been holding on to quite well since the start of this race. That's a really bad camera angle as they're going side by side into turn 4. Campbell, can he stick around the outside? He can, but he can't get the position. So that is good defense from Pharrell Fury. As Campbell going to have a look? No, he's not. He decides against that as they go up the hill. Is he going to have a look here now? No, he's not again. So this is just ruining Campbell's chances of getting at Larkin towards the end of this race. Pharrell Fury doing an excellent job. And actually, with the 3-second penalty for Campbell, it's probably kept in P5. He's doing a very good job defending this position. He can lose it now and probably still keep it because of the 3 seconds. So as James has got back past Callie, I think Callie's setting this up to hold it on the final lap so that he doesn't lose reverse grid. I think that's what Callie's doing. Callie's playing a very strategic game here, because he knows Tin Can will get him as they're going side by side. Campbell gets the position. What's James going to do defensively? He has to go defensive. He has to try and defend. He doesn't try and defend. And he's going to... Oh, he goes round. He keeps it round the outside. He keeps the position. But has he compromised himself down the straight? I think he has. He's going to have to be so defensive into turn 4 to try and fight to hold this position, and he loses out. I think that was a big mistake from James. I mean, he defended the position, but did he defend it too late in turn 1? And he compromised himself. He's going to lose I think he's going to lose the reverse grid pole position here, as we've got these 3 battling. Tin Can's just going to sit behind. He knows he's getting both of these positions if he just doesn't make a mistake. James, though... James at the moment has got to be the aggressor, as we're going to have Rocco and Verstappen fighting to the line for this P2. Nathan has crossed the line in P1. Another dominant display for him, as I don't think Rocco's going to be close enough. Verstappen's going to hold on to P2, and Rocco is going to take P3, as we're going to go back to this battle for... Is James going to be close enough? As they come up to the line, he's got the DRS. Callie's going to go defensive. James goes off the track and gets himself another penalty. And that drops him out to 9th position. And actually drops him to 10th. So yeah, that has cost James big time. I don't know if he knew that you always get a warning for going out there. But it doesn't matter if he looks to get that one removed. It's cost him what would it. Well, I don't know if he was ahead of Callie at that point as they crossed the line, but yeah, that's cost him reverse grid pole. He put everything out there. That was a hell of a race. That's close to race of the season, if not race of the season so far, from my point of view anyway. Bahrain was good. But this was just battles everywhere. Credit to all the drivers today, because that race was fantastic. But there you go. I feel like we've seen this guy on the top step quite a few times. Nathan takes yet another dominant win. And extends his championship lead yet again. Rocco had second for so much, but at the end, in the last couple of laps, got pipped by Verstappen, who takes P2, and then Rocco in P3. Larkin, P4, good race from P17, a hell of a race from P17. Ferrell Fury finishes where he started in P5. Campbell with that spin finishes P4, finishes P6, but could have been P4 without the spin. Could have potentially been at podium without the spin. And then Tin Can finishes P7 after the penalties. Callie P8. B Morgan P9. James in P10 after he picks up that penalty towards the line. Was he going to get reverse grid pole? Yeah, he would have got reverse grid pole had he not got the penalties. So unlucky from James. Miami was 11th. Let me just have a look. And then we had Eisen, Lars, Ryan. And then I think Jordan might have been 15th. Don't quite... Oh! That's an interesting one. Well, that's going to be full wets because they don't have the intermediate tyre in Formula 2. But rain in Interlagos. Quite a common occurrence. Some years it rains forever, some years it doesn't rain at all. But we have rain in the city of Sao Paulo, with Callie on pole position, Tin Can in second, and Campbell actually with that bad race, starts third. Nathan, dominant victor in the first race, is in 8th. So yeah, no, Nolan got the final point. So Nolan, after being dead last for pretty much the whole race, fought his way back and got the final point. It's a very good job from him. That is a hell of a fight back, because he was long gone at the back of that field at the start of the race. So excellent job from Nolan. And the 2 retirements from last race, comment list and Tim, back in for this one. I think we could see a lot of chaos in this race, as we already have 2 drivers disqualified from the formation lap, and that would be Ryan P and Jordan. Once again, not starting directly next to each other on the grid, so don't know what they've done. Pharrell Fury had a very good race in the last race. Kept it clean. Had an excellent battle with Miami, and then Miami went through his little spin. That was unfortunate for Miami. It was a hell of a battle between those two. You had the battle between those two. They had the battle for second between Verstappen and Rocky. You had the battle for the reverse grid pole and 7th place with Tin Can, Caddy, and James. B Morgan was in that at some point. You had the other battle between B Morgan, Lars, and whoever else was in that. It was ridiculous amount of battling, and I hope in the wet we get something similar. Obviously, there's a lack of DRS, which may make it harder to overtake, but it should make it much more entertaining. But we do have an overtake, and if any cars can, these cars can, and these drivers definitely can. As we get the final cars on the grid, there we are. We are waiting for Alex. No, that is the Tim right at the back. We are waiting for, as we are getting ready for the lights to come on. We're just waiting, trying to get the right camera angle. There we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go. Zebo gets a drive-through penalty. That really distracted me. Away we go. Good start from Caddy actually at the front. As Campbell was a bit sideways. Pharrell Fury is going to go up the inside as Caddy cuts across. Holds on to P1. Campbell going to have a look up the inside of Tin Can in turn 2. He's going to go all the way around the outside. There's got to be more grip out there. There is. And Campbell up into P2. That'll be a warning for going off the track, you would have thought. But he makes a very aggressive move as Larkin in the background having a look at Pharrell Fury. And is he going to get that one done? He is. Rocco up the inside of Miami. Well, Miami's made a very good start. Nathan, on the other hand, the championship leader, down into 10th position. As now Miami's getting swarmed a little bit. He's got Lars back alongside him. Is Nathan up the inside of Lars. They're all making moves here. Nathan on Lars. Lars is going to back out of that one. There's a yellow flag somewhere. That is Tim off in the background. Just before turn 7? 8. Turn 8. And there's another yellow flag. And that is the other Campos round at the other hairpin of turn 11. I'm making up the corner names. I think it's turn 10 or turn 11. Do not quote me. I am not your source of reference. As Larkin has lost out 2 positions to Pharrell Fury and Rocco. As Nathan up to 7th. So Nathan recovered well at the end of this first lap as Callie crosses the line to start lap 2. Apparently Tin Can is 1/10 ahead of Campbell, even though he's behind. Which doesn't make sense to me at all, as Campbell basically pushing Callie through this sector. He keeps going wide here. He's going to get penalised if he keeps doing it. The penalty system will penalise him for that. As B Morgan now gets past Miami and Nathan's back down another 2 spots. As they all go off the track at turn 4. This is really frantic stuff. And B Morgan, they all went off the track. Miami, good defense. Good defense of P7. Did push B Morgan wide, but it was kind of his corner, I would have said. But then Nathan followed. They all followed. James is down in 13th. His start didn't go quite to plan. He's battling with Car Mentalist. Actually, let me look at the positions gained. So no one's there. Some people have lost 4. Car Mentalist has gained 6. So he's had a good start yet again. Second race in a row. He's had a very decent start. As we're going to look at the front of the field yet again. Here's Campbell on the back of Callie. He's got the slipstream. Has he got just enough? Callie is going to defend this, but can he defend it forever? He does the fastest lap. Rocco beats that as Campbell goes down the inside. Callie's going to hold it all the way around the outside. He's going to have to give the space. Campbell's out there on the curb. You don't want to be out there in the wet. And Campbell's through for P1 as we have Tin Can still sat in behind these guys. And Rocco closing up very quickly. Larkin on the back of Pharrell Fury. You just think he's going down the inside this time around. Is he going to get it stopped? He does, and Pharrell Fury cannot come back at him. So Larkin back up. Back up into P5 where he started the race. And I said Nathan dominated the last race. Well, he did. You all saw that. Well, Campbell is in the lead of this one with Nathan down in 8th. So maybe this championship takes another swing as the team picks up the first penalty of the race. As Tin Can has now got past Callie into the hairpin corner at the top of the hill. One of them's, I don't know what they call it, the Pinerino, or one of the hairpins is Pinerino. It's somewhere on the track. But all that matters is Tin Can's made a move there. As Rocco is having a look on Callie's yellow flags, that is Ibo. As Campbell sets the fastest lap of the race. As Verstappen then beats that in 9th position. As Nathan's made a move. As Nathan has made a move up into P7, but he has Miami behind him, looking down the inside. So, and he actually nothing happens there. He's actually defending from Verstappen. It's Miami. Verstappen goes off the track as Campbell picks up a penalty. That's early in the race for a penalty for Campbell, so he will have to watch that as the yellow flags. That is him out of the race, and there is a virtual safety car, which allows me to have a bit of a breather. The front two had kind of broken away, but Rocco was getting towards it. He just got past Callie. Nathan has made a couple of moves now, but it's difficult for Nathan to get up. If you can't get up early in the wet, then it's a struggle. It's a struggle to find overtaking. You have to just have a clear pace advantage. Like at some tracks, if anyone saw the race at the weekend at Turkey, it said you need a clear 1.2 second advantage per lap, and that's kind of similar in the wet. And then now we actually have a full safety car, so that has completely changed the race. Nathan is going to have a chance to reset, and one to watch out for the restart. And so Nathan's the one to watch out, and the other one to watch out for is Rocco, because I don't know if anyone's spotted on safety car restarts these days. First place, obviously they manage it, they go when they want. Second place reacts to first, but third place reacts to first as well. So if third place has got a bit more margin, so they can push a little bit earlier and get away with it. So third place has probably always got a better run than second. So it will be interesting to see if Rocco has a decent run at Tin Can on the safety car restart. But this safety car restart will be literally on the checkered line. They are not going to start until right at the end of the straight, to just minimise the chance of a slipstream, even though it's wet. But just minimise that chance. Let's actually go on board with your race leader, think we're going to have one more lap under the safety car. Ibo is the last car on track. I don't know if he's going to get a chance to catch up, as B Morgan has actually Nolan's actually overtaken B Morgan. And they swapped again, so don't tell me they've got into a little cycle. As come across the line to start lap 6 of this 14-lap sprint race. As it's wet, well, I mean in the dry they didn't have to change tyres, but they definitely don't have to change tyres in the wet. This is all down to just managing the tyres. So in wet, it's probably easier to manage, and you don't focus on the tyres. As B Morgan and Nolan have swapped yet again, so I get the feeling Nolan's going past him, overshooting it, and then going and letting him back past. I get the feeling that's what's happening. Are they going side by side or something? Yeah, they're going side by side. So this is Nolan trying to, I don't know, Nolan playing a little bit of mind games, maybe? Who knows? But it's definitely doing something. You get in a bit of trouble if you did this in real life. He's bobbing up and down a little bit, though. Nearly going through the floor. Not something I would ever think Nolan would do. As there's a little bit of wheel spin there, and Ibo is still 30 seconds off, well, 37 seconds off the back of the safety car. So I think we're going to have another lap here. I don't know if Ibo took the chance to pit during the end of that the end of that last lap, but he now needs to close back up. He's 29 seconds behind now. But it's not the easiest track to close up to the back of people, as it is very short, and the straights, there's a lot of straights where you can pretty much go flat out because the safety car's doing that. So your advantage all comes in the corners, and it's not very easy to catch up if there isn't many corners. And there's only about, I don't know, 4 or 5 slow speed corners. Well, there's probably only 2 slow speed corners. Maybe 3 if you count turn 1. But the rest are pretty high speed. You're not gaining a fat lot through there. Where Ibo is now 22 seconds behind. That gap was 37. I think we're going to go with this lap anyway. I don't know if it's going to give him the chance to catch up with the rest of the field. As there we have Campbell sat in first, made a very good start to this race. Did exactly what he needed to do from 3rd position. And has now got the job of managing this. Are we going to go this lap? Are we going to have another lap under the safety car? We'll find out now. And the safety car is in this lap. I like being right sometimes. As Campbell's going to do some extreme weaving now. Just got to hope he doesn't lose it. That cameraing was amazing when there's nothing else. You're not trying to watch side by side, as Alex has a penalty. Lars just picked up a penalty. That is very early if he's gone, and he has gone. He's caught everyone napping. And actually, Callie, I said Rocco might have a chance. Callie's right up the back of Rocco, trying to get into P3's. Not being able to get ahead before the line. Obviously, you can't do that anyway. And he does not make a move, but he did have a good run on Rocco. Rocco was caught napping. Tin Cam was definitely caught napping. Campbell went very early. Even I didn't expect Campbell to go that early. Actually, Campbell needs to pull out quite a big gap because of his penalty. There's Nathan behind having a look. This doesn't benefit Nathan. They're all packed up, but that doesn't mean he can get through easier. As we have Carmentalist and James both getting past Lars. Is he going to have a look all the way around the outside? He's not going to have the downforce for that. He's He's going to look up the inside, getting very close. They're all getting very close in front as Rocco. Hard defense against Callie, and Callie's now up against Larkin. They're going side by side. Nathan's going to have a move on the inside here. The outside line's normally better around there. Can Pharrell Fury hold it out? No, he can't. And that is Nathan into 6th position. If you guys remember, in the first race, I said Tin Can's very good in these cars when he gets it all together. He did have it all together until the second I said that. Because he's just lost out to Rocco after being about a second and a half ahead of him. So he's probably lost it on traction. As Miami now gets past Pharrell Fury. Pharrell Fury not quite got the same pace he had in the dry, methinks. As he's now battling Verstappen. Who's another one that had a bad start. As Nolan just got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. Which means he's now on 15 seconds of penalties. And actually, Campbell has nearly pulled out that gap because of Tin Can's mistake. And Tin Can and Larkin are side by side as they come up the hill through turns 5 and 6. Nolan picks up another time penalty. Going to be close to getting disqualified at this point, surely. The way he's going. This is the camera I do not like. As Tin Can's still on the inside of Larkin. He's going to give him the space, but is that move... Is he going to hold that? Larkin's going to keep his foot in. As they still go side by side. Tin Can gets the better run round the corner. They're still side by side. With Nathan right behind. They've got to watch that Nathan doesn't try anything cheeky. As they come up the hill. Larkin's going to have a toe, but he doesn't actually go into the toe. Nathan, look, Nathan's right there. Nathan's right there. They're going to go 3 wide down the straight. Tin Can tried to cut him off as he goes aggressively to the one side. This is not going to work out. They're 3 wide into turn 1. Nathan has to back out. Tin Can's gone very wide. Nathan's tried to switch back on all of them. And he can't get the grip down around the outside. But he's going to have a look at Tin Can down into turn 4. Tin Can... Bit late. No, that's probably fine on the defense. Nathan's going to try and go around the outside, but he's going to get squeezed all the way out by Tin Can. Good defense from all of those guys. Good battling, good fair battling. And they pretty much stay in the same... Well, Larkin got past. But other than that, they stay in the same positions with only 4 laps of this race left to go. They are all bunched up, really. From P3 down to P10. They're all neck and neck. Biggest gap is probably that one between Miami and Nathan, but that's closed right up now as well. As you can see right there, that pink car of the HWA that Miami is driving. Tin Can, I said he had it all together. He's looking on for a P2, but he's in the last couple of laps. A few mistakes have come in. Nathan's going to have a run at him now. He's gone a bit wide. Well, he's had a bit of a slide coming through that final braking point as Campbell sets the fastest lap of the race. He is full push mode now as Nathan's going to go to the outside. What's Tin Can going to do? He's got him on the brakes. Cuts straight across. Nathan's going to switch back. And kind of squeeze Tin Can and he gets the move done. Nathan up into P4. Rocco's his main target, so it's all kind of unravelled for Tin Can as soon as I open my mouth. Sorry. Once again, I have a commentator's curse now. Apparently, it's got to me as well. As we are on lap 11 of 14. We're at a point now where the safety car will not be coming back out. The only 3 that are not scoring points at the moment are Nolan, Ibo, and Jordan. Nolan's definitely not scoring points with the amount of penalties, and he's just pit. Ibo's just doing his thing, man. He should get a point for every race he drives. And then Jordan, with the penalty, it's going to be difficult for him to sneak into the points. Like 5 seconds. And he's about 4.5 seconds back anyway, so that's going to be a different one. As Nolan is now on the back of Rocco. He is really... on the back of Larkin, sorry. he's got to put his foot down because of the penalty he's got as well. Campbell sets another fastest lap of the race, but I think it might just get beaten this time around by Nathan. No, it doesn't. So Nathan wasn't quite quick enough to get the fastest lap of the race as Miami makes a move on Tin Can. Tin Can's still on the inside. He's going to have a look maybe into turn 4. He gets a better run out of turn 2. And he is going to have a run, but he has to lift off slightly through turn 3. Getting a bit too close. Nothing he can really do. As that's a late move in the background from Callie and Verstappen. These two still battling at it. Still going for it. And Verstappen is re-overtaken by Callie. The gaps have started to open up slightly. This is allowing Nathan a little bit of breathing room. With the penalty, he might only lose 1 position now. Or 2. Well, 2. As DRS has been enabled. Now that spices things up. With the rain, it's still raining. Nathan's shoving Larkin. He's going to sit behind for the DRS now, surely. As he slides a little bit, but it's a good enough exit. And he will have a look at Larkin into turn 1. He is close enough. And especially with DRS being open now, he's going to breeze past, you would think. Larkin's not going to put up a defense of this. And that is Tin Can into the pits. So has he picked up front wing damage? Wow. Tin Can's race was going so well before that, after that, just before the safety car ended. And it's all gone away from him as Pharrell Fury picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. So that actually, no, he's gone to dries. So he's making a call to go to dries. But I don't think anyone else is actually going to come in. Those tyres are going to be stone cold and it's still raining. So that is a very bold decision from Tin Can, especially with 2 laps left of the race. I don't think anyone else is, and most of those guys aren't going to come in. 4 people have pitted. And I just don't think that's going to pay off for them whatsoever. I mean, actually, do you know what? Nolan has just done the fastest lap of the race, so maybe. But I don't think these guys are going to pit on the final lap of the race. Rocco's picked up a penalty. I didn't see that. But I just get the feeling that that was the wrong call. As Nolan's just set the fastest lap of the race and then retired from the session. And I think that might be the most Nolan thing ever. No offence, Nolan. As Nathan has just set the fastest lap of the race. So maybe the wets are still in there. But Nathan's pace has been very good. He's just been stuck in traffic for this race. But he is still going to get a... Well, actually, he might not get a podium out of it. As Miami picks up a penalty as well. But yeah, I think that was probably the wrong call to go to dry. It's probably dry now. But with 2 laps to go, you can't do very much. And unfortunately, Pharrell Fury is the big loser. He's going to drop out the points completely. B. Morgan and Tin Can just snuck back into the points, but not by a fat lot. And I don't think they're going to gain 4 seconds this lap on Jordan. So that might be a big error. Well, I think it was a big error. But here we are. The man who has pretty much from about lap 2 or 3, whenever he took the lead, he's just absolutely dominated this race. Absolutely dominated. Picked up his penalty, but it's not going to cost him anything towards the end of this race. As he comes across the line, Campbell wins the sprint race in Brazil. Rocco is going to come across the line in 2nd, with Nathan coming across the line in 3rd, but I think they're both going to lose out to Larkin. Yes, they are. Nathan ends up in 4th. Rocco still gets on the podium in 3rd. Verstappen finishes 5th. Callie in 6th. Carmental 7th. Miami 8th. Lars 9th. And I actually think Eisen's going to come across the line for P10 here. He is. Ryan gets 11th. James gets 12th. Tin Can, in the end, fair to him. I don't know what happened to Jordan. I think he may have had an off. Tin Can sets the fastest lap and gets P13. B Morgan finishes P14. Jordan P15. Pharrell, Fury, and Ibo are going to be the ones that come out of the points. Pharrell, Fury not even getting in the points after that decision to stop towards the end. But yeah, I just think if it had been one lap earlier, maybe it's a good call. But yeah, with 2 laps to go, I don't know about pitting for drives. But there we have it anyway. The guy who won stayed out. And that's not the guy who won. That is Car Mentalist, driver of the day. He did have a very good start to this race. So I think that's fair. Obviously, I think the game gives it out on how many positions you gain, which I think is, I mean, it's not the whole story, is it? But I think candidates for driver of the for this race, driver of the day, Car Mentalist, and this man right here, your race winner, Campbell, with a pretty dominant drive, similar to the way Nathan dominated the first race. Clearly see Nathan's pace, but he just got stuck in the traffic at the start, dropped down a few places. But there we have it. There is the leaderboard for the sprint race in Brazil. Campbell wins from 3rd on the grid, fastest lap as well. Actually, no, that's fastest lap in the top 10. I think Tin Can, and B Morgan absolutely destroyed that. Yeah, B Morgan did a 20.5. That's 5 seconds quicker. There you go. Campbell P1, Larkin P2 after not having a penalty. Rocco P3. Nathan finishes P4, so it's a decent recovery after the safety car. Verstappen P5. Callie started first, just got absolutely mugged on the start. Is 6th. Car Mentalist 7th. Miami 8th. Lars 9th. Eisen 10th. Ryan B 11th. James in 12th. Tin Can in 13th. B Morgan 14th. Jordan in 15th. Farrell Fury 16th. Ibo 17th. And then the 3 non-finishers, which would be Nolan, Alex, and Tim. So there we have it. Brazil completed 3/4 of the way through the season. And I want to say Nathan has extended his lead yet again. Which will be very nice to hear as we are heading to Silverstone next week. Not Monaco as it says on the screen. We're heading to Silverstone for the next set of races. Next Monday, 7 o'clock UK time. Whatever that actually is at the moment. And that is an interesting. We have 3 great tracks to end this season. 3 of the best tracks to end this season, especially for F2. Silverstone, followed by the streets of Baku, and then the legendary Spa-Francorchamps as the final round. That is 3 great races. I can't wait. Please don't miss it. It's going to be quality. But just another thing. I don't know if it's been said already. The PC League, for some reasons, the PC side has finished the season. Cookie Games has finished the championship. The last race was Austria. And hopefully for next season, what the issue was gets sorted, and we can go racing yet again. For the PS4 side, it is race week at Portimao for the first time in the F1 side. Obviously, we raced here in the F2 a couple of weeks ago. I think it was about 3-4 weeks ago now. But we are going there in the F1 for the next race. And I can't wait for that one. 6:30 for 3. I can't remember. I think it's 6:30 for Division 1, 3 and 4. And then 8 o'clock for Divisions 2 and 5. And that will just be intriguing to watch. Because who knows the pace of certain guys around that. That could be a complete game changer for the norms of the leagues. So I can't wait for that one. And then back here on Monday night for Silverstone, Britain in the F2. I've thoroughly enjoyed the set of races today. They've been quality, and that first race was just so good. But please don't miss the next race. It promises to be an absolute cracker as well. But until next time, guys, I have been your commentator RJ, and I will sign you out for the next time.